This is Boromina, a land once whole, now divided by primordial conflicts dating back thousands of years. Its four nations have been coexisting in a fragile peace for centuries, but can they truly stand alone when ancient threats come back to haunt them? From the sand dunes and scattered oases of Luxoria to the tropical Fey jungles and scenic coastline of Hunhup, the rolling green hills and towering cliffside peninsula of Medea to the stormy mountains and etheric wasteland of Perian. An alchemist, an acolyte, a knight, and an abolitionist must work together to preserve the world as they know it. These are the lands that make us.
I can't remember exactly where we left off last time. I know where we left off for Sherrilyn. I don't think we did a long rest for the night. I don't think that happened.
I don't think so. I think Mickey, you took Plato to go check on Sherry because Inara was like, yeah, I'm sure she's fine. And Plato was like, you don't know that. And then went to go check on her.
Sherrilyn said she was going to ward the room and then
She
vanished into the bedroom of a dancer.
Super
this
valid.
Is the propaganda approach to this Zelda. And yes, and Plato heard something in there, and then he very politely returned to the room.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what we'll pick up is Plato returning to the room that currently houses Inara, Mikkel Ord.
There were two rooms also, so we're all on the same page because we had two rooms that we rented. I'm not sure if the plan was to put them in one room or girls and boys or what was happening there.
I think given their conversation, Mikkel and Lalani's conversation, I don't think they're going to want to board together.
I mean, the one might want to board with the other, but that cannot be said both directions.
Last we saw him, he was having his mind blown by the dancer, so maybe that was enough to get him over it.
The dancer is somewhere else now, so...
Sure, I'm just saying maybe he's not pining or crying as much.
Well, I don't want to ask them, are you two going to have a blowout before things change? But if they decide that they want to stay in separate rooms, I will room with the old boy, Mikhail, he has a first name. And Inara, you can room with your sister. Francis, I'm sure either one of us would be happy to have you. And it seems that Sherrilyn is otherwise occupied. Though I don't know if she's a sleepover type. You know what? Not going to ask out loud or look at any of your faces. Just gonna look down at my feet.
Inara's laughing at you. She's like giggling at your flustered response.
It is not flustered so much as surprised, I think.
Clearly.
I mean, we saw she has... Look.
Is promiscuity not popular in Brig?
No. Unfortunately, it is not so popular in Brig. It is seen as important to maintain a sort of personal secrecy and closeness of your family and friends. So normally it's sort of a monogamous situation.
How boring.
This has been an accusation of our system, I suppose. But this is not what I was talking about. I sort of was under the impression that Sir Astalda was pining after somebody. But I suppose there are many reasons to seek out physical comfort.
I mean, of course there are. You're not wrong there. But there's more to it than just physical comfort. I take a lot of pleasure in people's company, in the conversation that you have before, during, or after, in the experience itself. I feel like, due to these unfortunate events we've been through, have a chance to travel outside of Breg without any of your usual company, maybe it's time you loosen up. Try some ways of the world and see if maybe there's more to it.
Plato, just the anime thing is happening. His glasses have fallen down his nose a little bit, and there's like a light that's catching them. He pushes them back up his nose, looking at Inara just sort of flatly, and says, I appreciate the invitation, but I know quite a bit of the world. This is sort of where I'm comfortable at right now, and Sherrilyn is comfortable where she is. Should we establish a guard for the evening?
Inara shrugs her shoulders and says, I am fine with whatever makes all of you comfortable. I have no problem taking first watch if everyone else needs to rest.
Well, we have to keep an eye and ear out so that they don't kill the cleric in the night. That is a concern.
Did we ever figure out where their room is and where the cleric may or may not be?
If we can assume it's not the room Sherrilyn is in, well, I guess we cannot assume that.
Did you happen to go in the room and see him?
Nope, and I will not.
I don't think they'd have a captive in there with them during.
Plato looks at Inara.
Well, even if they did, I would hope that Sir Stalder would be aware enough to see the captive cleric and halt whatever activity she's in.
That is true enough. So I have found her, I'll be honest, quite difficult to predict.
How did we leave things with the Loxodon?
The last conversation that we had with him was when Inara mentioned a captive person thing, and he got really mad, and it diffused, and we kind of just left. I'm pretty sure after that we got out as soon as possible, and he went back to his room. Everybody went to the room.
Yeah, because the bartender wouldn't shut up. So our actions, or at least Inara's actions, may have put the captive in more imminent danger than he was before that conversation.
I mean, they seem to be trying to get rid of him, if what I overheard was correct when we entered. Are you saying we should handle it tonight? I mean, we know at least one of them is occupied, but we are in the same situation.
I believe we should at least keep like you said, an eye or ear out on the situation, at least until Sherrilyn's done and is available. I don't know that we can take everyone on without her.
How long does it take until this person falls asleep?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you a very similar question, which is, have you entered a state of meditation following?
No, because if you recall, Sherrilyn did not take the jar of slip when she went in there. So I think she would let the dancer wear herself out and then afterward do some investigation.
We're getting back into that scene because there is no afterward for her. We come back in to the room smelling of lilac and lavender as a divine censer that was just used for this erotic dance has burned through its incense as we see the two figures in the bed, breathless. The dancer, the shadow, gets up from the bed after this long. It's been at least an hour, if not more now. You see her prepare another jar of slip from a cupboard for herself, and she also reaches in and pulls out, it looks like a bundle of fabrics at first, and it kind of takes form as she holds it out. It is a very elaborate dress that has at least 16, 17 scarves of brilliant color attached to it, mostly making up the fabric itself, the base of the scarves covering the skin as she is getting dressed.
Sherrilyn will roll over onto her side and ask a bit playfully, getting dressed already? Where are you going?
I am going outside.
Outside at this hour?
Yes, you must come with me.
Come with you where? She says. She'll throw her legs over the side of the bed and sit up.
Out front. I am going to dance in the sandstorm. My movements will bring wind. I will put on quite a show.
The party saw this storm approaching as we got to this hideaway. Yes.
You can also hear it kind of raging outside.
Plus, Inara specifically warned you about sandstorms when you asked what you needed to know about the desert.
So I think Sherrilyn would be able to draw the reasonable conclusion that that is extremely dangerous and will probably result in her death. She would quickly rise from the bed. The dancer is moving towards the door, and so she reaches out and grabs her by the wrist and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You want to dance in the sandstorm? Now that is very brave. However, I thought you wanted to put on a private show for me."
It is a private show for you. It'll just be me and you. You can stay within the Djinn's tent. It'll keep you safe. I will just be right on the outside.
Is she still holding this sensor?
You do not actually see the sensor. She must have at some point pointed it in the cupboard or somewhere, but you did not see it when she put it away.
She cups the shadow's face with both hands and gazes into her eyes. Does she look completely overcome with the substance that she has continuously taken all night?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an insight check.
5. Sherrilyn's not sure.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. There's passion in her eyes that is very evident and is kind of blocking your further read of her. As you look into her eyes, she looks at you like you're so beautiful, and it doesn't break as she is like holding your hand to lead you outside. Oh wait, I was going to do one more draw of slip before I danced in the storm. May I offer you the same?
She cants her head to the side, thinking about this offer. She obviously did not take the last jar of slip that she was offered, and she would not intend to take any more in this moment either. But she sees an opportunity here. So she pretends to graciously accept the offer. And it's in a cabinet, you said? Does she have to like bend over to get into the cabinet or something?
Yeah, she definitely has to like kind of bend over to prepare it, but take the jar out of the kind of secret compartment at the bottom here.
This dress that you've described, that's just a bunch of elaborate, colorful ribbons. Do they kind of like hang off? They're not all tied, I'm assuming. They're
meters and meters off of her body, of every one of them a different, beautiful, brilliant color.
I think she would allow this person to remove her hand from the door handle, move back to the cabinet where she's going to retrieve the slip. And as she's reaching inside to prepare or gather more from this storage space, Sherrilyn moves behind her, not in a stealthy way, just as if she's going to like run her hands over her. And as she gets close, she'll reach across the front of her body and grab a couple of these ribbons, and she's going to pull them up and across over her mouth like a gag to try and restrain her.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, she's gonna have disadvantage here on her acrobatics check to try and slip out of the hold. It's gonna be a strength check from your direction.
Strength or athletics?
Let me check. This is important. It is athletics.
It will be the same no matter what for Sherrilyn because she is not proficient in athletics, but still. Okay, Sherrilyn rolled a 15 plus 2 for a 17.
Also got a 17.
Ooh, okay. So what do we do in the case of a tie?
So here's what's actually going to happen. You see that she like almost slips out of it. Like she could do it. And then she kind of submits to it. You see her let her mouth be gagged as a smile kind of comes across her lips.
Like she thinks that she's being playful or seductive or something.
Yeah, like her read might not be the correct one here as she allows this to happen.
She'd chuckle along with it, nod her head as if, haha, yeah, that's what she's doing, even though that's definitely not what she's trying to do in this moment. And the dancer would feel a firm tug as she would tie the ribbons behind her head so that the gag was firmly in place. And then she would take the dancer's arms behind her back and lead her back over to the bed and bend her over so that she could tie her arms as well.
Hey, I would like to go outside and dance. Maybe later when we come back inside, she says this as she's like being walked over by you.
As the ribbons are like in her mouth and she has to like, she's like pressing her tongue against these ribbons. It's her teeth like grabbing onto this thing.
Maybe after. I just want to dance a little bit in the storm.
Sherrilyn is ignoring everything that she's saying at this point. Like she knows even if she doesn't consider this person friendly, she's still going to try and restrain her for her own good. So despite that, she loops these ribbons along the lengths of her arms and then will tie them at the wrist. And then she's just going to leave her lent over the bed as she steps away from it, and she'll drag a chair to the door and she'll prop it under the door handle so that she can begin investigating the room.
As you're propping it under the door handle, the door starts to open.
She's just gotten the chair in place as she sees the knob about to turn, and she quickly removes her hands from it. And as this person tries to open the door, they would feel the resistance.
Absolutely. You see as the door just breaks right off its hinges, the chair skirting forward, as you see two figures standing behind it, a large bugbear, fully decked out in this leather armor and weapons up and down his body. You recognize him from the troop that was there earlier. His name is Batty No Shoes, as well as the Loxodon figure standing a couple feet behind him.
Gentlemen, can't you see we're in the middle of something?
The Loxodon puts the door in place, and you see his hand glow gold for a second as he casts Mending to replace it on the thing. He then takes the chair that was put under it and sits down, his back to the door.
Did the sound of the door break? Was it loud enough for us to hear down the hall?
I think you all definitely heard those that are still awake and alert definitely heard a loud crash sound coming from outside. I don't think it was more defined than that. Okay, we let this go far enough. You hear Batty No Shoes say he's gonna try to walk past you over to the bed.
Sherrilyn slide steps in between them and puts a hand up. She's being polite. She says, "Now, this lady is in a state of undress, and as you can see, we were quite taken with the moment, so if you don't mind."
She can speak for herself, the Loxodon says from the chair.
She chuckles and then says, "Actually, no, she can't." And she'll step away just enough so that they can see her head. The shadow's head has turned towards them, and they can see the gag in her mouth.
I'm well aware. Cut that free. And he's going to walk past to the chair and pull a dagger off of his wasteland here and cut the mouth binding.
She's going to step in the way again, and she's going to take her hand and try and knock the wrist away, not to disarm him, but to make sure that it doesn't get next to the ribbons. She holds up a finger as if to say to wait, and says, "I highly advise that you don't do that." You see, she was about to have a bit of a party, a one-person party out in the storm. This is for her own good.
No, she was luring you outside.
Come again?
Yes, she's completely sober. We were just luring you so we didn't have to do this in the tavern. But you've left us no choice.
Sherrilyn turns and looks at the dancer and squints, analyzing her eyes again, because she could have sworn that they were dilated like she was high a second ago.
Yeah, they don't necessarily look different than they did a second ago. Are you going to try and physically restrain this large bugbear? He's got a couple of feet on you. He looks kind of gruff and ready to rumble.
Oh, that's a good question. Sherrilyn's instinct when she gets in a sticky situation is to try and talk her way out of it, so I think that she would continue to try talking until there were no other options but to stop talking.
Just real quick to establish, he's going to try and walk past you and cut it. Do you let him do that?
No.
You do not let him do that?
I do not let him do that.
You are going to have to physically restrain him in order to stop that from happening. He's a very, very large man. He has a lot of weapons, but you see as he's approaching, he hasn't drawn any yet. His fists are massive and kind of well-worn. Knuckles abrasive.
Okay. Would she be able to infer in any way that the Loxodon was like the leader of the troop?
He's sitting in a chair leaning on the door and giving commands. Yeah.
Sherrilyn leans around this bugbear as he is encroaching. She's first of all slapped away the guy's hand with the dagger in it, but she is still inserting herself between them even as the heels of her feet come to bump against the frame of the bed. And she leans around him to address the Loxodon, and she says, "Going to let him do all the work for you."
Hit her. He's going to try and punch you in the face.
Obviously, she's not going to let herself get punched in the face. So.
Okay. Roll me some initiative.
Y'all, we got a nat 20.
Fuck yeah.
We were definitely listening to make sure nothing bad happened, right? I mean, we were waiting. We started
Exactly.
with them taking the cleric out to kill him, but now this has happened.
Yeah, having heard the crash, Inara would definitely look to Plato and be like, "Did you hear that? Maybe we should go check. It could be just part of their playtime fun, but
You said it's been sort of like an hour, right? They had spent some time together. Plato is asleep with his back up against one of the walls, and he jerks awake and says, "But yes, yes."
there was a loud crash from the hallway. It sounded like it came from down the hall.
I've been in and out. I'm sorry. I'm awake now.
One of us should go check that out, don't you think?" And she would offer to go investigate while he maintained watch in her place.
But wait, what about Francis?
I'm gonna go for Nora. You've had your time checking on Sherrilyn.
I will follow up behind you. Don't. I will be fine.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Okay, just in case it is part of their fun, I wouldn't judge them too harshly.
What's not? What do you?
She just giggles and walks past you. She's gonna have a lot of fun teasing you about this now that she
matter
knows.
of judgment. There's things we have to get done.
Francis would pat Pillow on the back. It's like just keep a cool head when you get in there.
He freezes his hand. Always.
All right, we're gonna do one round before we have anyone else join in. Just as the 6 seconds as you all leave to enter the hallway. I think the sounds of combat. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think everyone can join in on the second round initiative here, and can move your full movement prior to that. So if you'd like to move deeper into the hallway, like to the doors, that makes sense. There's no immediate signs of what door caused this loud noise, as it did get mended.
So is it like we had to go down into the tavern and then up the stairs, or is it like a catwalk in between?
There's a catwalk in between, and there's more rooms as well.
So, this bugbear had a declared action if he was going to try and hit her,
Yeah,
punch
he's gonna
her.
punch you in the, she's gonna try and punch you in the face.
Okay, but she gets to move first. So I think that the bed would have like those canopy sheets on it or some form of sewn curtains attached to it. So as the bugbear goes to swing at her face, his fist slicing through the air towards her cheek, she's going to reach behind her and grab this curtain that's been tied up on the bed and pull it down to kind of like hook around his arm to not only deflect it but to also like pin it down so that he can't actually hit her.
Yeah, to figure this out kind of in a mechanical sense, are you trying to grapple him?
Yes.
Sounds good. Let's do it. I'm gonna put an 18.
As a 14 for Sherrilyn.
You see, as he just like flexes, this is a very strong man. As he breaks out, you realize his role here is the muscle, as both the other folks seem to be standing back and watching.
Okay. For her bonus action, she is going to cast Shield of Faith on herself. And what this would look like, because I have to imagine she doesn't have her shield on her at the moment, or if she does, it's probably not in an accessible place in the room, like maybe near the door or something. So there's a purplish shimmering light that appears as an aura around her person. But she's going to stand firmly where she is between the tied up dancer and this bugbear and wait for his attack.
Sounds good. That brings us to the bugbear, Batty No Shoes, as he is going to make 3 attacks here, beginning with just a closed fist punch. It's gonna be a 10 to hit.
That will miss.
You see, he as he still has that curtain kind of on his person, it like he tries to reach and just punches and tears the curtain completely with his upswing, but giving you more than enough time to dodge out of the way as he reels back his left hand to go for the same maneuver. That's going to be a dirty 20.
That will hit.
Right. Can I get a strength saving throw, please, and thank you?
Yes. Not good. That is a 9 total.
That is going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are knocked prone. He is then just going to kick you right in the side as hard as he can.
Yes, I also need to roll concentration as well.
All right, that's going to be a 22 at
She
advantage.
succeeded on the concentration check. You said a 22?
Yeah.
That will hit.
This can be another 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
She is very pleased at deflecting the first hit, hearing this unraveling and a slight crash behind her as the curtain comes loose from the canopy bed. And as she's feeling quite haughty, then the next hit comes through where she's not expecting it and does manage to hit her in the jaw, sending her almost reeling down onto the floor. The wind kicked out of her as his foot makes contact with her stomach. She is not looking great right now. She's feeling the effects of the evening, you might say.
All right, at the end of Baddie No Shoes' turn, who's going to stay in melee combat with you, Darshel Ren the Loxodon is going to raise his hand and cast a spell. As you see pulsing out from your position, Sherrilyn, this vibrating echo of energy of this darker purple color. And as it does, all you can hear goes completely silent. A silent spell cast through the room. You watch as he skids his chair forward, opens the door, and walks out into the hallway.
She's shaking her head.
That brings us to the Shadow, who kicks her legs violently as her arms are still restrained, unable to help here at present. That does bring us to in the hallway, and we're going to add Inara, Francis, and Plato. As you all rush towards the hallway, you're right towards the doors, looking between them, looking for the source of this crash. And you watch as the door in the back right corner, Plato, the one you were listening at previously, you watch as this Loxodon gentleman very gently opens the door, walks out, and turns to face you all. Sherrilyn, that brings us back to your turn.
How close to the bed is the cabinet with the slip in it?
It's like right next to the bed. It's on the other side of the shadow. You'd have to go past the bed.
Okay. Her shield of faith did manage to stay up through all that. She's feeling bruised and aching. She'll push herself to her feet to rise from prone. And with this bugbear still looming in front of her and her weapons out of reach, she's going to reach into the cabinet beside her and take up a jar of slip and try to smash it over his head soundlessly because of the silence bubble.
I love that. Go ahead and make an improvised attack roll.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's a nat 20.
20.
Okay, so he has to make a con save against some stuff. Yeah, you're gonna freaking brain him with a jar of slip. That's amazing. Yeah, let's say base here it's gonna be a d6 of damage. There's gonna be some other effects here as well. So you can add an additional 6 there for the crit, and then add your strength modifier as well to the damage.
Okay. Oh my god, for maximum damage. So that's going to be 14 points.
And you watch as you just crack him with this jar as shards of it are him and like bloody wounds open. The slip goes into it. As you see it coagulate in the wounds almost immediately, going in as you watch his pupils begin to dilate a little bit as he is affected with the poisoned condition.
She's already concentrating on Shield of Faith for her bonus actions. She's not holding a weapon, so there's no point in using Divine Favor. So I think she's just going to stand her ground and wait for him to attack again. She's going to do a taunting motion to him as she sees him sway after being clocked with this jar. Wordlessly, like using very vivid facial expressions like, you want to come again?
All right, so that brings us to Baddie No Shoes. Baddie No Shoes is going to take 3 fist attacks here, as he's just going to continue trying to take Sherrilyn down. All of these are going to be non-lethal, as he's trying to just knock her out. All of this completely silently. You can see some glass still like stuck in his neck as it pulses in. His eyes completely dilated at this point, as these attacks are going to be at disadvantage. All right, that is a... Ooh, first attack's going to be a 9.
That will miss.
That's a nat 20 on the first one, but of course this is disadvantage, so let me roll this d20. Okay, I did just roll 2 nat 20s in a row.
Cannot silvery bob is that?
Unfortunately, that is not in my repertoire either, so I cannot save myself.
Damn.
They said they were not non-lethal, so that's Good. We just have to rescue you. Oh, you've become a damsel. I won't mention it.
Plus 8. 9. It's going to be 17 points of bludgeoning damage total.
Yeah, where does he hit her?
It's right in the face.
Oh, yeah. His knuckles meet her forehead and she crumples to the ground. She is unconscious.
That brings us to Darshel Wren, who's going to put his hands up to everybody that's in the hallway. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you all?
Oh no, don't worry about it. We were just coming to collect our friend. We sort of need her.
I think she is out front with the shadow. They are doing a sandstorm dance.
Insight check.
Absolutely.
Can I give him advantage on that? Because I'm not buying that at all. I did warn Sherrilyn about the sandstorms.
Absolutely.
That's only going to be a 13, even with advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he looks towards the door. I'm actually going to join them right now. Sounds like he means it. He's definitely looking in that direction. I broke a chair. I'm going to have to replace it.
Oh, I'm sure accidents happen here all the time.
Would you like to come with me?
God, no.
No, the tent. It is protected by magic. She's just going to go dance a bit out front.
He's talking to all of us or specifically Inara?
All of you. He's looking between you all in the hallway here.
As interesting as watching a dance in a sandstorm sounds, I don't think it's the safest option. Nor do I think our friend would think the same.
What was your result on the insight check?
So Plato only got a 13, but my passive is 15.
15? Yeah, so you definitely feel like he's telling the truth, for sure. There's nothing about what he said that sounds untrue. Yes, I think she's just watching from the tent. The shadow, she's a very talented dancer. She can surround herself with wind to protect herself. The view is very safe. We've been doing it the last couple times a sandstorm came through, which was twice now while we were traveling.
While it might be safe for your companion, I doubt ours would feel comfortable in weather like this. I know I hate getting sand stuck in my fur. I doubt she would like it in her armor. I think I'll just go and check the room.
I think inside the tent is protected with magic, so you won't get sand anyway.
I won't, but if they are out dancing, I've already seen her dance, and I think I'll just stay inside and go check on my sister instead.
Sounds good. You're going to be missing one hell of a show. I'm going to go now.
Enjoy it for me.
Plato puts a finger up for a second, giving him a did-I look, and he says, and your friend, the cleric, will they be out there watching as well?
No, he's feeling ill.
Feeling ill?
Too much slip.
Is that how you will be taking care of him?
What do you mean? He was walking away a little bit, and he kind of turns back to face you as you say this.
Hearing that the cleric is, quote, ill, Francis would sidestep from behind Inara. Like, if he's not feeling well, then perhaps I can take a look at him.
His eyes narrow. We take care of our own, but thank you for the offer.
It's no bother at all, really. From one cleric to another, I would love to lend a helping hand to him.
Roll me a persuasion check.
21.
Yes, honestly, I think that would be helpful. Give me 15 minutes or so to watch the dance, and then we can meet in my room.
Of course. Which room is yours?
It's gonna be the large one at the end of the hallway there.
All right. You enjoy your dance, and I'll meet you back here whenever you're ready.
Absolutely. I'm sure he'll be happy to get the help. He's asleep right now. I'm hoping to let him sleep a little longer.
Plato's got a knit brow looking at this guy, but Francis and Inara don't seem like they want to confront him here, so he follows the lead of the group and steps back, I guess intending to watch the hallway after this guy's gone.
You see him leave. He heads towards the front gate. You really are missing quite a show, he says one more time as he holds his large Loxodon hand up and walks out the front.
The moment he rounds the corner and is out of sight, Francis is going to turn back around to Plato and look him dead in the eyes like, which room did you go to?
I point at the door that's closest to us just right away. If Francis is heading in that direction, Plato tries to keep step with him to see if we've got to push the door down.
You try the door and it is locked. Sherrilyn, you feel a soft slap on your cheek with a splash of water as well. as you are awakened. You feel a dagger pressed to the center of your throat as the shadow has wrapped herself around you. Say you are fine.
Did he let the silence bubble down?
The silence still is not still on. As you come back to consciousness, the room scene has changed just a little bit here.
She takes a quick glance around the room. Is there still like broken glass and the tabs, the curtain pulled down from the bed? And all?
Absolutely.
So it still looks like it's a mess.
And Batty No Shoes is fucking tripping in the corner here. He's not someone who does slip at all, and his entire like nose and face is all pointed to the corner, and he is like out of it completely, like hunched over because of what has happened. But this dagger is pressed directly to your throat, and you are at 1 HP. And you are certain with your passive insight that she will make good on this threat as you hear the door handle be jiggled. Francis, the door is locked.
Was she asking her to say that now or after the door is opened?
The door is locked. She's not going over to unlock it. So as the door handle goes, she's wanting you to say it now.
She was kicked in the stomach pretty strongly earlier, so there would be a cracking in her voice for sure, especially at this angle that she's being held at, where her chest is forward of the rest of her body. Her lungs are squished together. So I think at the door, they would hear a very strained voice saying, "All is well. It's fine."
If they come in here, you die.
Inside passive 15, would Francis pick up on Sherrilyn being in distress with her voice?
Yeah, she's definitely been through something, I would say, for sure. Sherrilyn, what are you trying to communicate with that? I think that's the better... What are you trying to communicate specifically? Anything? Or are you trying to sound normal? I guess that's the best way to do the insight roll.
She's trying to sound like she would typically sound. She's just woken up after getting slugged in the head twice. So I think that she's frantically thinking in this moment, what can I say to stop this woman from slicing my throat open, but also to convey to these people not to open the doors?
So I think with a passive insight of 15, it doesn't seem like she's like calling out for help, but she definitely seems like she's in distress.
Are you continuing to jiggle the door handle?
No, he would just jiggle it once, and then like he would hear Sherrilyn's response, and he would think it a little odd that she would simply respond with that at this simple act of jiggling the door handle. And so he'll look back towards Plato and Inara, and without saying anything, with two fingers like beckon them towards the door.
Seeing Francis's look of concern and noticing the fact that he went for the handle but still did not open the door, will immediately take out her thieves' tools and approaching the door will motion to both of the men with like pointing to her mouth and mouthing the word "keep talking." She'll call out, "I know you're having fun in there, and I'm sure it's all going great, but we do have matters to discuss once you're done." And she'll talk loudly to cover the sound of her lockpicks.
Yes, the Luxodon said you were going out to watch a dance. I think he thought you were already down there.
Sounds like you're missing quite the show.
Does the shadow allow her to still keep talking for the sake of potentially making them not open the door?
Yeah, her saying, if they come in here, you die, was her saying, do whatever you can to keep them out.
It could be some time, she'd say, still sounding strained. I feel as though we're not close to done.
So the dancer herself hasn't gone out to the storm yet?
She thinks about that for a second. She tilts her head very slightly to the side so that the dagger doesn't dig into her neck and raises her eyebrows at this person as if, do you want me to say something specific?
While they're talking, is this a sleight of hand check to pick the lock?
Yeah, it's going to be a sleight of hand check plus proficiency. And to try and do it silently, before that, I'm going to need a performance check.
Okay, so performance check first.
Actually, no, we'll just make it all part of the same roll. So we'll just do a sleight of hand check to try and pick the lock and to see how quietly you can do it as well.
Could we do some sort of like a perception check on Sherrilyn's part as well to see if she hears the pick enter the lock so that she could potentially assist and like make a noise in this moment to try and cover it up as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sleight of hand check plus proficiency is a 22.
22? Yeah, you feel the lock. Your what? Sherrilyn, what did you get on the?
She only rolled a 5 total on her
Yes.
perception check.
Yeah, you're not aware.
So, having successfully picked the lock, Inara will look up at the two gentlemen with her and give them a quick nod, like the door's ready. And she definitely, like, no more joking, doesn't look like she believes any of this anymore after having seen the Loxodons insist that they're both outside and hearing that they're both in there, she knows something's up. So, yeah, once she's, I guess, unlocked the door before opening it, she will stand back up and pull out her dagger of venom and get ready for whenever you two are ready to go in.
She hasn't heard the people outside the door saying anything else since they asked, shouldn't you be out there with the dancer, and the dancer is still in there with you. She would say she is still here, and we are quite in company with each other, and maybe for some time. So perhaps you should leave us be.
Inara's going to look to Francis and Plato, giving you a quick nod, like, are you ready to go? Waiting for you to respond to her signal.
I mean, we don't know that she's got the knife to her, right? There's no way that we could. Plato reaches a hand out, and I'm going to use this spell slot, but here we go. It's not like I can heal. He reaches a hand out, and he twin casts invisibility on himself and Inara. So until we attack or cast a spell, we'll be invisible. As you see, the water, his hand, he reaches out and puts, as Inara is like pulling out the dagger and kneeling up from picking the lock, Plato puts his water hand on her shoulder, and it's like the liquid metal in Terminator 2 goes up around him and around her, and it refracts the light around them to create the effect of invisibility. And I guess I will whisper, maybe this way we can get the element of surprise.
Sherrilyn quickly speaks up again. We have the strangest company in here. That bugbear with the bare feet is here also, as was the Loxodon earlier. It's been quite a night.
Okay, yeah, we all share a look of concern. I think, unfortunately, we will be swatting the door.
Yeah, how do you do this?
One way I think we could do it is push the door open, have an invisible person push the door open, and try and get one of them to try and get a look in there before we act. But I don't know if just opening, I mean, I don't know.
So something that Francis can do is he can cast thaumaturgy, but I can only do one effect per casting. Is that it? Because I can either have it sound like we're walking away, or make it sound like a gust of wind blew open the door, and then there's no one at the door, so it makes it sound like, or makes it look like the door just opened on its own.
Just real quick to clarify, is the hope to get her to believe that a ghost has unlocked the door?
No, the hope was that, like, the sandstorm, like some of the gusts from the sandstorm somehow got into the tent, or
And unlocked it?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe she forgot someone locked it. Come on, we're working on a bunch of stuff.
How long does she have as the three of you are deliberating in this hallway?
Oh, knowing that there are people in there with her, she sounds strained. The Loxodon lied to us and tried to get us to follow him for a bit, but not that hard. He didn't push it. Inara doesn't feel safe leaving Sherrilyn in there and just walking away, but she doesn't have a lot of experience in situations like this.
Sherrilyn again struggles to turn to face her currently captor and says, "It's been quite a night with you, but there's one other thing I have to say before you do this."
Yes, and know that I do not do this with passion or joy. It is just my job.
It's nothing personal, she says, as her vocal component as she casts Sword Burst, the cantrip, which is You create a momentary circle of spectral blades that sweep around you. All other creatures within 5 feet must succeed a dex saving throw or take 1d6 force damage,
Hell yeah.
which will appear as like a circle of these like glowing, radiant longswords.
Okay, so that's a nat 1 from the shadow, which makes sense because she's physically wrapped around you. So that works pretty well, and then it's going to be a 17 total for the bugbear.
I love that the three of us are huddled outside the door trying to figure out how to help her, and she's already helped herself.
That's good.
She's an independent knight who don't need no friends.
I know, the three of us together just barely balance out against Sherrilyn.
The bugbear will save and take no damage from this, but the shadow will be taking 4 force damage.
Plato kicks the door open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You kick the door open, and as you do, you see chaos in the room. First, you see a large bugbear figure whose nose is just right against the wall, right next to the door. You see a shattered glass on the ground, this like oily chemical spilled throughout. And then you see on the floor, wrapped around Sherrilyn, is the shadow dagger to her neck. And as you kick the door open and enter, you watch as it's drawn across. It's going to be a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
As you watch Sherrilyn's neck just get slit open, she begins to bleed out. And we'll state initiative. That'll be, as you kick the door open, that'll be Inara. That's your go.
Remember, you're invisible.
Yeah, Fence is the only one that's actually in the door.
I was really hoping what Sherrilyn did would somehow stop that from happening. Would healing word work? Is she like downed or?
Yeah, Sherrilyn's just in death saving throws like every PC who gets reduced to 0 HP.
So Inara will, as soon as we burst in, Inara will look down and see Sherrilyn's neck be cut. And just for a second, I want to say she's shocked. Like she pauses for just a moment, seeing her friend bleeding in a way that she'd never seen violence like this before, but quickly regains her composure and runs over, placing both hands over the wound, trying to keep the blood from pouring out as she casts healing word on her friend.
Hell yeah, roll that healing.
So +3, 4 + 3, 7 points.
Sherrilyn, you feel your neck begin to reseal itself as the blood flow lessens as you come back to life here.
Oh, that fucking stings.
And then having done that with her bonus action, seeing her friend start to come back from the dead, she looks up at the shadow, who's probably right there, still on top of Sherrilyn, and in almost like a cat's hissing sound when they're cornered, she goes, "You fucking bitch," and slashes out with her dagger of venom.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm thinking we're both still invisible until we take an attack, right?
No, once you cast your spell, unfortunately, you became visible again.
All right, so I do think the bugbear's still going to take an attack at disadvantage here as I move past, as he was occupying the space. That's gonna be a 6 total, with a 2 on the die. As you see, he just turns around and does like a full spin, and trying to punch out at the air where he thinks you are. He doesn't do he does too full of a spin as he just punches right through the wall. His fist getting stuck in there a little bit as it is locked through the wall to the outside hallway, as he's like using his other arm to kind of like drag it back in. As you bring her back up, and now you were gonna stab out at the dancer. The dancer is technically prone right now because she was holding Sherrilyn on the ground, so you do have advantage on this attack.
18 on the first roll. We're gonna go with that one. So that's 18 plus 5 for 23 to hit.
23 definitely hits.
Amazing. 6 points of damage.
Hell yeah. Like reels a bit as the dagger stabs into her.
Okay, that should be it for my turn. You said she's prone. Is it possible to drag Sherrilyn away from under her, or is she prone on top of her?
Her legs are wrapped around Sherrilyn's thighs, and like her arms are wrapped around her shoulders.
Inara's gonna take like a defensive crouch over Sherrilyn, who's still pretty hurt, but she's gonna hold her ground.
Hell yeah. You size these guys up. It seems like the people who can fight are probably in the room. Do you know what I mean? Like the bard was very charming and talk, but did not look like he had any combat experience, like at all. Francis, the only invisible person who was storming into the room. You see the scene as described previously laid out before you. Sherrilyn's neck beginning to heal over from the cut that you watched occur as you entered. It is your go. What would you like to do?
So seeing that Inara has rushed ahead and healed Shannon, taking the defensive position over her, Francis is going to shift his attention as soon as he steps into the door. This big bugbear that is just standing in front of him, like dazed out of his mind, and taking out his mason shield, he makes like a very quick incantation, and as he's reeling his mace back, he is going to cast inflict wounds as he swings down at the bugbear.
Oh yeah, is that a hit?
Yeah, melee. It's a melee spell attack.
Can I make a request of Francis as I see this one person in the doorway?
As he's mid-swing.
As you are mid-swing, yes. Standing in the doorway, you are directly beside where Sherrilyn has left her weaponry. And she would call out to you. First of all, she looks up and she sees Inara over her. And she says, "Here we are again." And then she looks over at the door and she says, "Sir Thon, if you don't mind, my sword."
Like, he's still mid-swing as he hears Sherrilyn, so that's going to be 22 to hit.
That definitely hits.
10 damage.
Oh yeah. As you hit him and the black veins kind of spread throughout his body as the necrotic eats away at his life essence, withering him a bit as he takes his 10 points of damage. He's pretty sturdy though.
And he is going, as like he comes with a downswing and hits the bugbear, he's going to look at Sherrilyn with like a very confused look down to the side and see her sword and shield, and then look back up at her as like, "You really got yourself in a situation again, haven't you?"
Inara looks down at Sherrilyn and goes, "They really caught you with your pants down, huh?"
And yet my pants are firmly on.
I'm not even the one saying it.
You see both, as Plato talks, both Bugbear and the Shadow like kind of look around, like they were sizing up the situation and then weren't expecting that fourth voice.
So, would it be a bonus action or an action to pick up her stuff?
It can be part of movement. You have more than enough movement to pick that up and grab it off the wall.
Francis, like, after hitting the bugbear and seeing Sherrilyn's gear, is going to use the rest of his movement because he already used an attack of opportunity. So he's going to grab Sherrilyn's gear and shuffle his way around the bugbear, still like facing him.
Yeah, easy to do. His hand is still through the wall, so he's still trying to pull it out with his other arm as you can just walk right past him.
Even like looking behind where Sherrilyn is, he's going to just like throw the gear behind him and be like, trying to lose it next time.
She's still laying flat on the ground because it hasn't been her turn yet. So you'd have to like lean them down to her and she'd fumble with them while still laying on her back, I suppose.
Yeah, he doesn't even hand it her. He just throws it behind him.
Oh, so it skids across the floor towards where she is laying, and she reaches out a hand and slaps down on the flat of the blade so it doesn't spin into her and hurt her.
Amazing. All right, you now have your weaponry back. That brings us to the end of your turn, Francis, which brings us to Plato, invisible right outside the doorway.
All right, we are going loud, I guess. I go ahead and step into the doorway. And what sort of armor is this fool wearing?
Like studded leather, higher quality studded leather.
All right. Yes, I'm going to quicken a cantrip to cast Shocking Grasp as I reach out with my water hand. You see I become visible from like the fingertips back up the arm as the arm then an electric strike sort of zaps down it.
You do also have advantage because Francis is still currently flanking.
And I am invisible, so all C6.
Yes, 3 different contributing reasons.
17.
That's definitely going to hit.
Excellent. So that will do 1d8 damage. So only 3 damage for that, but he cannot take reactions until I believe... I think it had used its reaction, but whatever, until the start of its next turn. And then I will use as my main action... Actually, he looks strong, right? You would say?
But yeah. Batty no shoes, he looks strong. He's still poisoned, so he has disadvantage on saving throws.
So as I stand there, I will look him in the eyes, and he sees my eyes flash, as I will also go ahead and cast, for my main action, Dissonant Whispers on him, if he can make a wisdom saving throw.
At disadvantage, it's going to be a 13.
Damn. Well, he will pass. He'll still take half damage, but he won't move away, which is a thing I would have liked him to do. So that will be 10 more points of damage. I'm trying not to kill them outright. I would rather try and make him run away, but since he passed the saves, that won't be the case there.
Starts to scream a bit as this psychic damage, adding to the kind of melange of terrible things that are going on with his brain against his will here. Just screams as the half damage from these psychic whispers occurs.
He hears the clanking of the chains. And since I know he does not have any reactions, I am going to go back to the doorway and try and keep an eye out, since we are creating quite a fuss in here.
Oh yeah. That brings us to the Shadow, who's going to very quickly separate herself off of Sherrilyn, kick off of the wall here, and in doing this, her entire dress begins to float around her in this beautiful array of colors that can move around her. And I need everybody to make me a wisdom saving throw.
There's a 17 plus 2 for a 19 for Sherrilyn.
Nice, nice.
13 plus 0 for Inara.
Is there any chance I would be saved by being looking out the hallway? No, probably not.
Yeah, you actually would be.
Cool, because I did say I went to go act as a lookout.
You
so
do
if I was
not need to make a
looking
saving throw here.
at- Good, because it was a 4. Thank you.
Okay, Francis?
That'll be 18.
But yeah, you're going to definitely save. And Sherrilyn saved as well. So the Bugbear and Inara do not. Inara, this beautiful array of colors puts you somewhere else for a little bit. You're on the bridge during the festival, watching the beautiful shining lights, and you just find yourself stunned and amazed by this array of colors as you're incapacitated and have a speed of 0 as you are just sat there watching. As is the Bugbear, as you see him just zone out, surrounded by both of you, he just stares right at the dress, and a big smile crosses his lips, and he seems to forget both of you exist.
I like to imagine he's like looking past Francis, and Francis like glancing at him, at the dancer, and then back at him. It's like, what is going on?
If you're glancing back at the dancer, you see Inara staring up at the ceiling. She's got a little smile on her face, and she starts like almost reaching out and swatting at air. Like, you don't know what she sees or what she's trying to catch, but she looks like a cat playing with an invisible bug.
Amazing. You can take inspiration for that.
Francis just sees Inara and is being like, we have to leave this godforsaken place now.
That brings us to the end of the Shadow, who is just going to take a 5-foot step back away from Inara. Inara, currently incapacitated, unable to take an attack of opportunity, and she stays within Sherrilyn's attack range. She backs up into a corner and pulls the dagger that she had just slit your throat with, Sherrilyn in one hand, her other hand held against the fist, as her dress flows wildly behind her, maintaining this hypnotic pattern. That brings us to Sherrilyn at the start of initiative.
As Inara becomes incapacitated, is she still on top of me?
She's taking like a crouched defensive position, but with the way things had changed, she's not on top of you or in the way of the Shadow necessarily.
Inara, what is your armor class?
14.
One moment, she's making quips with Inara about their current situation. The next, Inara is very much cat-like and seems to not be herself. So Sherrilyn reaches out and gently lays a hand on Inara's arm and says, "Hold on, Inara," and cast Shield of Faith on Inara. And then she's going to use her movement to slide out from beneath her and come to standing and rise from prone. Facing the Shadow, she had been stabbed earlier by the venom knife. How harmed does she appear just by this strike?
Not particularly. She looks pretty sturdy.
Seeing the malice in her eyes, Sherrilyn takes a position, squares her shoulders towards her, and says, "Now, I am not one to commit violence against women, however." And she will then lunge forward with her longsword to try and stab her in the shoulder. She's going to go for a non-lethal attack, if this makes sense. She's not going for an organ. She's just trying to disable her. That is a 13 to hit.
I don't know if this will shock you or not, but a 13 will hit a dress made of ribbons.
Yes, it may have something to do with the fact that she is hardly wearing anything at all, yes. For 7 total slashing damage.
Yeah, as kind of some of that pattern comes apart as well, just kind of breaking the illusion for just a second. And I need to make a con saving throw on hypnotic pattern. Okay, I do make that. So hypnotic pattern does maintain as you cut into her.
Inara is kind of against the wall here, so I think she feels fairly confident that the shadow's not going to be able to reach her with both the bed and Sherrilyn between them. So she'll stay where she is and raise up her shield against this dancer of all things and end her turn.
That brings us to Batty No Shoes, who's watching the light show of a lifetime on both the slip that's been into his cut body and as he is incapacitated and charmed by the spell. That brings us to Inara.
Am I still incapacitated, or did the Shield of Faith knock me out of that?
You are still incapacitated as you're watching this light show.
Well, that means I can't do anything, doesn't it? I can't take an action or no bonus action. Yeah, so you see Inara now like actively trying to catch the lights, I guess. Does the vision keep going or does it change?
Yeah, and it's still visible for everybody in the room too. Like it is filling this room with light and these ribbons that glow out of the dress.
Well, no, I meant where she was on the bridge and it was does she still think she's back in Wahid al-Ahlam or?
No, I think you're more present now as the lights fade away. I think you do see like the dress before you and get dazed over by the just impressive display here. But you're back in your body for sure.
Her eyes like focus back in and she like almost turns to look at all of you, but she looks still super dazed. Her eyes are like saucers as she proceeds to try to catch the ribbons that are floating around like a kitty playing with yarn. That's it for my turn. Sorry to not be so useful this time around.
Hey, that's how I feel about this bugbear right now, who is the strongest stat block that I have.
You did just save my life.
And then start playing with ribbons and lights, so...
Hey, Kitty needs to take a break.
Yeah.
On that note, is there any way that I can knock her out of that daze, or...
Yeah, you can totally try to use your action to like, get her to snap out of it.
Seeing that the bugbear is also, like, in this, like, translucent state of just not being in the moment, Francis is going to look, like, beyond him towards Plato's like, can you handle him for a moment? Thanks. And he's going to turn around and go towards Inara, and he's going to like reach to like his water skin and just splash her in the face with it.
Yeah, it works right away. Inara, as you snap back to reality as the water hits your face and the spell is ended on you. In that moment, she's also going to end concentration on it so that the bugbear has control of his own reality again.
She hisses when the water splashes her in the face and then blinks 2-3 times, realizes like that the lights are gone and they were never there. And she looks almost a little disappointed, like she was enjoying the light show, but looks at Francis and goes, thank you. Sorry.
Yes, welcome back. Now, can we please finish the matter at hand before you can look at pretty lights again?
There'll be more pretty lights? Okay. And she turns around to face the shadow.
And with that, Francis is going to like turn around and like look at the bugbear again and see that he is no longer tripping, but still tripping on slip.
Any bonus action or further movement, Francis?
He's going to move back towards the bugbear and just get back in his face and make sure like there's that buffer between him and the dancer.
Yeah. All right. With that brings us to Plato or Davian.
Deal with him. What are you talking about? He's enormous.
I trust you can take him down.
As Plato leans back around the door jamb. All right, I will try one more Dissonant Whispers. Another wisdom saving throw, please.
A 15. He has disadvantage. That's going to be a 12 total.
Damn it, both times. Well, he still takes
There's
6. So yeah, just 4 more points of damage.
is the chains echo in his mind.
Yes, as he hears the clanking chains of the sluice. But yeah, besides that, I'm not going in there and putting my body in more harm. It seems like they have something sort of under control. So I'll keep looking down at the door to try and see if anyone is coming to their aid. Are there any windows in this room, out of curiosity?
We're underground.
Right. Not a lot of escapes underground.
All right, that brings us to the shadow. She's going to take that dagger and try to while in a very dancing, flexible way. She does like a full like stretch and then catches her body up. It does look like a dance the way that she's maneuvering here to try and find an angle on you, Sherrilyn, as you're holding your shield, as she's going to just take an attack on you. It's gonna be a dirty 20.
The feeling quite sluggish after all of the damage that she's taken in the past 24 hours, being bruised and aching. Her reflexes aren't as fast as they usually are, and though she tries to follow the movements of this dagger with the shield, she cannot quite keep up with the movements of the dancer, and she manages to get the dagger past her defenses.
Okay, there's no way she doesn't down you with this attack as the sneak attack goes off here.
Shield of Faith will end on Inara as well.
As she's just able to just barely, as the shield goes up, you see her flick it forward as she's able to just jam right past it, moving with the shield, just contorting her arm completely around the position, with like a triple jointed like snap to it. She's able to find an incredible angle as she just hits you right in the ribs as you go down. For fun and for reference, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll this damage anyway.
They have to get stalled a parry out of wound closure.
18, 24, 26, 30.
Wouldn't that flat out kill me? I'm pretty sure.
What's your total max HP?
Oh, wait, it's after you subtract 7, right?
Yeah.
I have 28 total, so that almost killed me.
Almost. It's very close. If Inara had rolled lower on the healing, it would have. But yeah. As she just jams it in, you all watch as Sherrilyn falls back to the ground. Which brings us to Sherilyn's turn. I need a death saving throw.
All right. 13, she succeeds.
Oh, yeah, that brings us to Batty No Shoes, who is no longer incapacitated. He's Francis right on top of him. He's going to go ahead and try and attack 3 times. All non-lethally. All at disadvantage, as he is both swinging out at you, Francis, and the second Francis that he sees just a couple feet from you.
Okay, so he already has disadvantage on all these tackles.
Yeah.
Okay.
As he definitely still is poisoned by that genius slit move. Okay, the first attack is definitely going to miss. Second attack is... First one's a 15, second roll is a 12 total. Does that hit?
12?
Yeah.
No.
All right. The first 2 punches are at the Francis that he sees that no one else does, as you just kind of watch him pull his hand out of the wall and then just like, ugh! And then he's surprised as the Francis that he's seeing in his blurry vision doesn't take any damage as he goes for the third swing. Still at disadvantage. All right. It's going to be 17. Lower roll there. It'll be 21 to hit.
That one hits.
All right. That's going to be a 2d4. 6. That's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage as he's able to just swing with his left and get a hook in, just landing one solid blow out of that trio of blows.
I like to imagine that when he swings at the not there Francis, Francis just sees his fist just go wide, retracts back, and they both give each other like this confused look like, what was that?
All right, that brings us to Inara. Inara, you are back fully in control.
Just in time to see my friend downed again. I'm torn between her having a reaction where she loses control and attacks the dancer, or runs to her friend's aid again.
I mean, you do not to do this, but Francis is right behind you with all of his
Right,
healing.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's why.
I mean, I will need him to move just a little bit out of the way, maybe to the top of the room on his turn, but he'll be fine.
Francis, could you just be a pal and just shimmy that way?
Just to the top a little. I would just love a line.
So, seeing Sherrilyn fall to the ground again, lose consciousness, she is filled with a very new feeling, this like intense hatred and rage for someone. She, not to say that she's been too sheltered, she's had negative feelings, but never cared enough about someone to hate them this strongly. And you see her holding up her claws at her as if she's about to take a claw attack, but instead this sickly green light, like almost energy, starts to pool and lashes out towards the shadow as she casts Ray of Sickness, wanting this person for the first time in her life, genuinely wanting someone to die at her hands.
Is that a saving throw or it's a hit?
It is a Constitution saving throw, please.
All right, she is not particularly great at that. There's no plus. That's going to be a 6 total.
That fails. So she is now poisoned until the end of my next turn, and we'll take 2d8 of poison damage. Nice. That's an 8 and a 7 on the die, so 15. As it hits her squarely in the chest, you start to see almost like this veining spread. And because it hit near her heart, it starts to spread really quickly. And she immediately starts to cough up blood and bleeds from her eyes as well instead of tears. Inara actually smiles, taking pleasure in causing pain to someone who's hurt her friend so many times. I think that's it for her, because she can't really take any other bonus action. What she might do is move forward a little bit so that she's standing between the shadow and Sherrilyn, who's downed, until Francis can get to her.
Amazing. With that brings us to Francis.
All right. Seeing that Sherrilyn is once again napping, Francis is going to intuitively just sidestep, and he is going to stick out both his hands, one towards the bugbear, one towards Sherrilyn. And his one hand towards the bugbear has his rosary, and with the glowing of the beads, he will quickly like palm it down as he casts Sacred Flame on the bugbear. So that's going to be a dex saving throw.
So he does have a 15 on that.
That will save. And then I'm going to cast Healing Word on Sherrilyn. 7 points of healing.
Thank you.
Sherrilyn, you're back up as you feel a different kind of magic envelop you and get you back on your feet.
You've been healed at least once by each healer.
For the exact same amount.
I cannot heal, so don't look at me.
She comes back to consciousness with her hand still clutching this place between her armor where the dagger slipped her. She's not wearing her armor. She's in her regular clothes. It just went between her ribs, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
The dagger went between her ribs. And she has the dried blood now on her fingers, and she opens her eyes and there's a crease in her brow. Like, this is a different sensation than she's used to, but she's glad to be alive anyway.
Amazing. That'll bring us to the end of Francis' turn. Plato, that's your go.
I lean back around the door jam and I say, I would like this to be over. I want to leave here. And I will throw, just like with my water arm, just a big splorch of acid just sprays down in a 5-foot beam out to 30 feet. So I should be able to get both of them. She'll probably make the dex save, but let's try anyway. It is a dex save.
She got a 6, and a lot of that was her bonus. And Bugbear got a 7, and none of that was his bonus.
Finally, they do not pass a save as the water covers them, and they are both covered in acid, which is damage that they will take. It's I think it's at the beginning of set 10. As I cast Tasha's Caustic Brew. So yes, until it uses its action to scrape or wash the acid off, it will take 2d4 acid damage at the start of its turn.
Oh yeah, that brings us to the shadow. So at the start of your turn, do you want to go ahead and roll me that damage?
Absolutely. I also I yell, is Sherrilyn okay? As I've seen her go down.
You just hear this long groan and her hand kind of flapping over top.
Good to see. And he leads back out the door. So yes, 2d4. Yeah, almost max for 7 points of damage on that.
Oh yeah. She is going to use her turn to freak out about the acid that is burning her beautiful dress, and she's going to use her action to very quickly use some of the ribbons from the outside to scrape it off, and then maintain a defensive position.
There you go, Sherrilyn. A turn of not being killed.
Which brings us to Sherrilyn.
Yes. She rolls over onto her stomach and uses her grip on the sword to rise again from the floor. And she sees Inara very bravely facing down this dancer who has thoroughly kicked her ass at least twice. So she will take that sword. She is out of spell slots, so her options are very limited here. Trying to be brave, she will lean around the poster of this bed with her weapon and attempt to. She sees Inara. You've made her bleeding like all from her face and these blackened veins in her skin. So she knows that you're trying to kill her officially at this point, and seeing as she is clearly trying to kill Sherrilyn as well, Sherrilyn has no problem trying to strike this person down now. So she will attempt to stab her lethally for 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Which is going to be 10 slashing damage.
As you just cut like a full portion of her and the ribbon, the blood just begins to flow, kind of like filling the side of the dress here, staining the white and yellow ribbons red with fresh blood as you cut into her.
She stands shoulder to shoulder with Inara, ready still, even in this very weakened state, having been knocked to the floor again and again, ready to stand at her defense. And she will end her turn.
That brings us to Batty No Shoes, who's going to take a step.
Damage. Sorry. Damage to Batty No Shoes first at the beginning of his turn.
Call.
2 3s. 6.
6. He really is not sure what's going on with that. He's still tripping. He is not going to be using his action to clear himself off. Instead, he's going to step right up to Francis and try and palm your head with one of his massive hands and just slam it into the wall behind you 3 times. Each one of these is going to be at disadvantage as he still has the poison condition. It's going to be a 17 on the first one.
It's meat it beats it, right?
Yes.
Because 17 meets it.
Yeah. So the first one, as he grabs your hand, kind of lifts you just a little bit off the ground and just slams your head into the wall. It's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage. All right. And then second swing. It's going to be a 9 total.
9 misses.
As he grabs your head and pushes you back into the wall, he's expecting to hear your head slam against it again, but he accidentally puts your head clear through the hole he had made as your head just kind of pops into the hallway for a second. He brings you back to reel in for a third swing here. It's going to be a 19 to hit.
That one will hit.
All right, we got rid of a nat 20 there with the disadvantage. It's just going to slam your head into the same spot one more time, kind of breaking the wall a little bit. That's going to be 3 + 4 for 7 points of damage total.
That will exactly take him down.
As Francis goes unconscious in his hand, you watch as the bugbear uses the rest of his movement to throw him onto the ground and begin take a flanking position with Sherrilyn.
Was he still attacking non-lethally, or were those last attacks lethal attacks?
He was still attacking non-lethally. Every attack he made was non-lethal. I'm sorry if I didn't declare it, but his only intent is to follow the order of knocking you guys out. So the Francis is unconscious but not making death saving throws. I won't say the same. The shadow does not seem to be following that. She is stabbing to kill, which brings us to Inara.
Okay, so I'm guessing this woman looks extremely hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you have a spell slot, well, do we have healing potions? Yeah, we do. So we have other ways to help Francis.
Right. Crap. Francis is down. But the thing is, I feel like Inara's a very emotional person in general. And these are a lot of very new, strong emotions. And she's solely focused on this woman right now. Like, I don't even know if she's noticed that Sherrilyn's back up. Unless Sherrilyn has spoken to her directly, like she's like got tunnel vision where all she sees is her target, like a cat on a hunt almost. And having been taken over by these feelings, she may not recognize some of the things that are happening in the peripheral. And so She would enjoy the fact that the last ray of sickness seemed to take so much out of her that she would walk up closer to the shadow where her hand is almost laying directly on her as she casts it again, this time digging her claws into the dancer's flesh.
That's a con saving throw, right?
Right.
No bonus here. That's a 9 on the die.
And that fails. As you watch her dig her claws in further, the dancer wincing and weakening, but not able to fall to the ground because Inara is holding her up by those same injury. And that'll be 5 points of piercing damage.
So, Inara, you've killed a couple moths now with the party. You've killed a few different things. Has Inara ever taken a humanoid life before?
No.
So this is a first.
Right. But it is in defense of someone she holds dear. So as she watches the life escape from this woman's eyes and she falls to the ground, she's going through an adrenaline rush where she feels high on the fact that she was able to protect her friend, but also a little numb to the reality that this is someone that she was just admiring her dance and encouraging her friend to go flirt with. And she still seems a little oblivious to what's going on in the room as she's solely focused on this creature in front of her that she almost refuses to recognize as the same person that she was hanging out with a few hours ago.
You all hear the shadow's body hit the ground as the colors in the dress that she wears in the ribbon seems to be a little duller than they were just moments ago. As she exhales, taking her last breath, the necrotic sickness overcoming her. That brings us to any bonus action or movement, Nara.
No, not until someone breaks her out of her trance almost.
The shadow has been dispatched. She is lifeless in front of the combo of Sherrilyn and Inara. Sherrilyn currently taking a defensive position, shield and sword back in hand, protecting Inara's positioning. Batty No Shoes watches the shadow fall, one of his favorite people to watch dance. Brightness in his world suddenly gone out as Inara's weapon finds its mark. All right, that brings us to Plato.
All right, yes, he looks back inside the door jam. He sees, he looks from the shadow to Inara, who I guess maybe is breathing heavy over top of her. Her claws probably still extended from what she's done, and Plato looks shocked, sad, but doesn't say anything as he sees Francis on the ground and runs to him. What are our rules for healing potions in this game?
To feed it to another person, it'll be an action. To take your one on your turn, it'll be an action or a bonus action, but not both.
Gotcha. Is the bugbear that we're facing, he's still looking pretty hardy, I'm assuming?
Yeah, he looks a little bruised and beaten up, but he's still got some fight in him. He's covered in acid. He's actively covered in acid.
It's a wonder all the chemicals that he's been covered in the last hour or so haven't mixed together and caused a reaction.
I mean, the reaction is that he has like 9 weapons on him, and he still hasn't thought to draw one of them. Like, he is covered in weapons and bandoliers, and he's still like, all right, let's do this. But yeah, absolutely. He's going through it right now.
So I'll go ahead and use my action. I sort of slide down to right behind Francis so I can pull his shoulders and head up into my lap, and then pour the 1 health potion I think that I have down his throat.
Francis, you feel life begin to return to you. Kind of dazed just a little bit, maybe a little concussed. Wait, where are these potions from?
Didn't we get some from the Lost when we stopped at the temple?
So that'll be 10 points of healing. So because this is so well concocted and a perfect example of what a healing potion can be, this is max healing. So that'll be 10 points of healing.
I think it shimmers as I pour it sort of in. I try to make sure no drops on the face. He's still a fastidious guy, and then sort of, yep, no, we're not doing that. And he sort of tries to pull him backwards a little bit to get a little bit of clearance. I only used two 10 feet to move in, so maybe I could just, drag him back 5 feet.
Yeah, when Francis comes to, he kind of jolts awake and then finds himself just being dragged backwards by Plato, and he looks up at Plato and is like, "Yeah, I don't much appreciate it. What he's done with my body."
Yeah, so I try to, pull him back a little bit, and I look over at the bugbear and those of us gathered around, and I say, "Okay, bad. This is going very badly."
Which brings us to the start of initiative with Sherrilyn, as Batty No Shoes is about to charge directly towards the both of you. Definitely seeing more than double, as his eyes seem to dart around the entire room on your side, making eye contact with a bunch of invisible enemies. What do you do?
This bugbear that is encroaching upon us, kind of unsteady on his feet. So, standing in this defensive position next to her savior, Sherrilyn will attempt to push the bugbear in the shoulder, I suppose, as he's lumbering around. Is that a full action?
Yeah, it's going to be an attack action. Are you trying to knock him prone? Is that the intent?
Yes. I think that's a good idea. Yes. Maybe if she knocked him off balance enough, maybe he would hit his head into the wall.
We do need him alive if we can.
Yeah, absolutely. He is poisoned, so he's going to be making this roll at disadvantage as he tries to stay steady against Sherrilyn's push.
The athletics on my part?
Yeah.
Not great. It's a 9 from me. 7 plus 2.
Okay, so unfortunately he did roll higher than that with a 14 total. As he doesn't even seem super aware, as he's definitely panicked looking at another Sherrilyn that's attacking from above, but he stays so sturdy in that moment that your push just ends up ineffective against his side.
That's all right. She's still situating herself between him and Inara. She's a bit unsteady on her own feet, which we'll credit to this failed shove. She's looking through blood dribbling in her eyes. Her sight is also kind of split in two. She doesn't really have anywhere to move in here, so I believe that she's just going to stay put.
All right. That brings us to Batty No Shoes, who is going to charge here. I'm going to roll something for him. Okay. Yeah, he's charging directly towards Inara, finding Sherrilyn in the way. He's going to try and push Sherrilyn in response here to get directly at Inara. So he's going to use his first attack action to do the same thing to you, Sherrilyn, trying to push you back against the bed railing here to get a space to move in on Inara and take his revenge for the execution of the shadow here.
Yes, as her vision is kind of expanding and then contracting, she's unsteady on her feet. This man charges her and slams directly into her, and she failed. She only also rolled a 7 total.
Yeah, give me a DC 15 strength check to see if you get knocked prone.
17 on the number.
So you just get knocked into the bedpost here as he makes room for himself, as he's going to approach with both fists, and with his left fist, he's going to try and do an uppercut right on Inara's jaw. It's going to be a disadvantage because he's poisoned. Any reactions?
Interception?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I reduce it by 1d10 plus proficiency bonus.
Okay, my first roll there was a natural 20, but he does have disadvantage from the poison condition. Okay, second one is going to be 11 plus... That's going to be a 15 to hit, Inara?
No, that doesn't hit.
A 15 doesn't hit? All right. He's making his third attack as the uppercut goes completely wide, as he looks like he confidently hit a different Inara that he was looking at, as he swings with his right fist to try and get you across the face here. How about a 16?
So that is my AC. I don't know how that works.
If it meets, it beats.
Damn it. Yeah, I guess it hits.
The interception will go off now because it's only after the hit actually connects.
Nice.
This is just a fist attack. However, roll pretty good there. That is going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage total.
Reduced by 8.
Oh, what does that look like? As he pushes you down to the side, goes wide with his second swing here, and then his third swing, as he pulls back, winds up, and aims towards Inara.
Sherrilyn shakes her head, trying to refocus herself just as she sees the swing coming into Inara, her eyes going wide as the fist approaches, and she manages to throw herself off. Her spine was connected to the bed rail. She manages to lift herself off and swing out her shield and deflect the fist.
Hey, Rob. I have a question. Was there any chance that he was still covered in acid?
There's a very good chance he was still covered in acid.
So that would be 2d4 at the beginning of his turn.
Hell yeah.
It's just going to be 4 points of acid damage.
So it burns through some of his armor, revealing even more weapons, as some of the leather burns away with some hidden daggers and a scimitar on his right side that were kind of sewn in. That starts deteriorating under the acid. All right, that is going to be the end of Batty Noshi's turn, taking us to Inara.
Snap out of it, Inara.
He's kind of right in your face here. Almost feral after watching the shadow fall and the drugging, as well as the many hallucinations that he's occurring. What do you do?
So, Inara would have been a little shook at taking a life for the first time. So, I would imagine her breathing really deeply, a little too fast, sort of staring at the body of the shadow at her feet, and trying to process what she just did before Batty No Shoes. I cannot get over this name. Before Batty No Shoes attacks Sherrilyn, and that kind of snaps her out of it. A quick question for you. Is this acid flammable?
No, like most of my things, it is based in water largely, so not exactly.
So, seeing him up in her face, looking a little feral almost, she will snap out of it and take out her dagger of venom. She'll swing out against him, aiming for his eyes almost, trying to blind him. I'm assuming this is a creature that is much, much bigger than her, so...
Yeah, stand on your toes.
I was thinking more like trying to use my feline agility to get on his back.
If he was alive after this.
Would that be like a separate roll? If I wanted to jump on his back and then try to stab?
Yeah, which
Okay.
would be two separate actions,
Two
right?
separate actions.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then I guess she'll just swing out with her dagger of venom, trying to get him close to where the slip has already been into his wounds. So that's 14 to hit.
Unfortunately, 14 does not hit, as your dagger makes contact with the hilt of another dagger that's kind of along his arm, as he just kind of barely dodges out of your way, yelling at a different Inara that is attacking from the other direction. He just happens to accidentally dodge your attack as well.
Okay. Sherrilyn, are you still looking like super hurt?
Single digits.
So, having missed her swing, she will reach down, touching Sherrilyn's shoulder, and will cast Healing Word using her bonus action.
Hell yeah, I didn't know artificers had healing word. That's dope.
Touch is unnecessary but welcomed, nonetheless.
And you regain 6 hit points. Yeah.
It's a little less than half a pizza, you might say.
Okay, and that should be it for her turn.
Glad to see you're still here with us. And me as well.
I have feelings that I'll deal with later. Right now, there is a maniac we need to put down. A rabid bear. You're good at that. You have experience with bears.
Quite a lot of experience with bears.
All right. With that takes us to Francis.
The jokes kind of write themselves. But how is everyone else looking in terms of pizzas?
I believe Sherrilyn is the only one who's actually taken any damage at all.
I've been over here by this door making sure no one sort of hears us, and it's been hard for me to take damage. You, however, my friend, if I remember correctly, are perhaps prone or in my lap or something.
Yeah, I know you basically shoved a healing potion down my throat. Francis is going to kind of jolt back into consciousness and see where he has found himself in Plato's lab and kind of look up at him and is like, I appreciate your hospitality, but I believe we have work to be done.
Yes, of course. That's probably the most healing I will ever do. So, come on.
Don't have to tell me twice. And he is going to jolt up and take his mason shield in hand.
I will say, It's easier to compel the truth from a living bugbear than it is to compel the truth from a dead bugbear. So not impossible.
I'm aware of how talking works.
Just because, like, we're in their room where we just did a murder.
Yes, quite.
And Sherrilyn said my name downstairs, if everyone remembers, so...
First and last.
And so he's going to get up and run up behind the bugbear, shield and mace in hand, and he is going to, non-lethally, because I don't know how much pizza's left on this bugbear, whack him upside the head.
Hell yeah, roll to hit. You're definitely flanking, so please attack with advantage.
13.
Yeah, unfortunately that will not hit. What are you swinging out with here?
His mace.
His mace. As you hit square into the leather armor that he does seem to be wearing in the back, as it does afford some protection here. As Plato's words ring in your head, you're kind of going for a non-lethal blow, and it just wasn't enough force to puncture through the armor and under armor that he wears on his back here. All right, Plato, that brings us to you.
How is this fellow looking, actually?
He's looking pretty healthy. He's still looking really, really fucked up. He definitely is going to have the poison condition for at least a minute. But he's a brute. He's definitely, if you were to look at that group and pick the one you wouldn't want to fight, it'd be this guy, right? Like, he's the muscle.
All right. You ready for something stupid? I'm going to do a gambit. He seems pretty disoriented. Not a gambit from X-Men. He seems pretty disoriented, right?
He seems very disoriented.
I am going to use a cantrip. I will use Mind Sliver. Quicken it with my last sorcerer point to use it as a bonus action. So that is an intelligence saving throw.
All right, that's going to be a straight roll at disadvantage. Ooh, 16 on the first and a 7 on the second.
Excellent, less than 12. So they will start, he will take 1d6 of psychic damage, or a full 6, excellent. He will take negative 1d4 on his next saving throw. Then, so you tell me, I want to egg him on, I want to shout at him after hurting him. I want to be like, come on and get me, you mad animal. And then I want to run into the hallway.
Oh, as you run into the hallway, you see he was out of your line of sight because he's currently coming up the stairs at the lateral, having come out from under the balcony. You see Rourke heading actively towards your position.
There you are. We have a situation?
What's going on? Yes, he looks like he definitely has been drinking. But he's in the moment. He has his water splashed on his face, just woken up from a rest. What's happening?
A murder of thieves. We need to subdue the bugbear in there. And then I am going to prepare. Is this I don't even know if this is possible. I wanted to use my action, which I still have left, to prepare the trip action. I want to try and see if he'll trace me, and I can trip him as he comes out the door, so he'll fall down the stairs.
Yeah, well, I mean, this could be part of the shove action, right?
Sure, I'll do shove.
And then you're gonna push him. Rourke is at the bottom of the stairs, unfortunately.
Also, get out of the way.
So Rourke is gonna join the initiative order here. All right, he got a 6, so he's actually gonna be right after you, so he can do that. He can move out of the way. Do you want him to come up the stairs out of the way, or move out of the way at the bottom of the stairs?
Is he a bird?
He's a roadrunner, yes, and can fly.
I would like him to hop up here.
All right, perfect. He will do so. He pulls out a small hand crossbow in one hand, as well as a blowgun in the right hand, and loads a dart in, using his action to do that. We're sedating, right?
Subduing.
All right, perfect. With that brings us to the start of initiative and to Sherrilyn. The three of you have him completely surrounded within this room, but his attention does seem to be... Actually, Plato, can you give me an intimidation check to see how effective your bait was?
Of course. Trying to play to my strengths here, obviously. Which is mostly running and yelling.
Don't sell yourself short.
Right, so that'll be 12 plus 4.
16?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Played to my strengths, so hopefully I can be intimidating.
So Sherrilyn, he has seemingly no awareness of you as he is looking directly over Francis's head in the direction of several Platos that just ran out of the door. What do you do?
Firstly, Sherrilyn scoffs, seeing Plato act so brave and then a moment later dash out of the room. As this bugbear is looking around confused, I think we'd mentioned previously that he was still quite armed, but was not using his weapons because of his state of mind. Where are his armaments strapped upon his body?
So he has over 12 weapons on his body that you've identified now. Along his bandolier, he has a series of daggers and short swords. Sewn into the right side of his pants, he had a long scimitar that seemed to be hidden. Definitely has a lot of daggers along the leather arm braces. He's completely armed to the teeth.
Okay, so...
Can't remember it, though. Has been trying.
So notably the bandolier. So as he has one foot backwards, looking like he will probably leave this position any moment to chase Mr. Ardavian, Sherrilyn will take a well-placed attack at this bugbear with the intention of slicing through the various straps that hold his weaponry. Because he's still facing her and Inara towards the front of his body, like straight down the side of his abdomen. And she really has to focus herself on this because her vision is also sort of blurry, although she's a bit better since Inara healed her. Ooh. Okay. That is a 19 plus 4, so 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
All right.
And you rolled with advantage, right?
Oh, I did not. Yes, allow me to crit fish. Did not.
Good try, though.
It's always worth trying. Very decent on damage. That's going to be a 7 plus 2 for a 9 slashing damage.
Yeah, very effective cut as you cut across him. He's starting to look hurt.
Despite Plato dashing out of the room, she's going to stay beside Inara and Francis, who also was quite badly injured a moment ago.
Alrighty, Rue. That brings us to Batty No Shoes, who is going to take his first attack here.
He's going to start by taking acid damage, sorry.
Oh, yep. Start his turn by taking acid damage. Alright, that's going to be 3 points of acid damage. And he is going to try to charge through Francis. He is going to just straight up use an attack here with his full body, as he's just going to try and plow through Francis. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's in your turn. You definitely have it back. Let's see if I hit first. That will be 16 to hit Francis.
That does not hit.
All right. And I didn't even roll with disadvantage, and I should have. So basically, he's going to try and move to the other side of Francis here, exposing himself to an attack of opportunity from Inara and Sherrilyn as he begins chasing Plato. Actually, wait a second. He's going to roll something. I think he is very angry about Plato, but the Shadow definitely did get killed by Inara, and he really, really cares for the Shadow. But he is very much in an inebriated state. So let me roll.
If it's a saving throw, he has negative 1d4 because of my mind sliver.
He rolled really well, but I'm going to roll the d4, and it's going to be -2. I still think that's enough. I think Plato is his secondary objective here. I think it's revenge first, and then Plato immediately after. So I think he's going to start heading that way, but he's just going to throw... After Francis stays completely steady against his charge attack, and he's unable to find room to charge after Plato because he's completely surrounded within the room, despite his best effort of trying to charge through Francis, he's going to kind of turn around, finding a hopefully easier target in Inara, and he's going to try to use his last 2 attacks here. All right, that's going to be 11. All right, so 11 is going to be the lower of those rolls. That's another 16 in our 11 plus 5.
And the shield comes out again to defend my lady.
Oh, yeah. That's your intercept. That does hit, right? 16? I think that's your AC.
Yeah, the 16 does hit.
All right. That's going to be a total of 5 plus... That's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Reduced by 4.
So just 6 makes it through. As the shield comes up, and as he slams his fist into the shield, he stumbles forward, and he just shoulders you so hard, Inara, kind of knocking you back a little bit as you take the bludgeoning impact, despite the punch itself being deflected. And
he's a big man.
That was his second attack. First seconds against his second attack against Inara. So he's going to try a third attack against Inara here.
And now I will not have interception available.
Okay, that's a nat 1. I have disadvantage. Let me see if I get 2 nat 1s. No, I didn't. But his third attack, he turns, and you! And he turns to the wall where there's nobody standing, despite being surrounded on the other 3, and he's going to unload his third attack here directly on the wall. As Plato and Rourke, you see a fist just pop through on the other side. And he looks really confused, as he's pretty sure his attack landed, but there's no one there.
I look at Rourke and I say, the gambit didn't work.
He just kind of smiles. Then let's do a different gambit, as he looks towards the open door. That brings us to Inara, Francis on deck.
Okay, so she taking the first damage of the night for her sort of pisses her off a little more than she already was. And then seeing him go after the wall, she smirks, holds up her hand, and casts her firebolt cantrip, trying to set him ablaze from behind as he's distracted by his hallucination. And that'll be 21 to hit.
That definitely hits. Oh, actually, I'm so sorry. I'm going to need you to roll at a disadvantage because you currently are at melee range with him. As you reach your hand up, you're kind of unable to find enough distance to get a good shot. I just need one more attack roll.
Unnatural 20 to hit.
Yeah, it definitely still hits. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Okay. 7 points of fire damage.
Heck yeah. As his clothes singe further, revealing his muscular form and large body. He's definitely well-trained, a lot of scars. He's seen quite a few fights.
Does it reveal any more weapons?
No, his full collection is currently on display. Unless you count the hammer in his pants. Woo! Alright, that brings us to Francis.
I don't want to think about that weapon.
Well, maybe some fans out here are diehard. Just so everyone knows, he's also a historian. He's not just a big scary bugbear. He also is a keeper of histories.
You can't make him more appealing now that we're all invested in.
You didn't
killing
ask.
him.
Yes, that makes him better.
No one asked. He's always been a historian. He belongs to a group of dramaturges. He has to have a thing. You have an 8'6" enraged historian in front of you. What would you like to do?
Man, that changes everything, doesn't it?
Thankfully, Plato's not in the room.
Just angry in a hallway.
Just waiting. Now, the scene that this wonderful bugbear historian has decided to make a hole in the wall, Francis is going to try and take advantage of that in a way, and he still has no weapons equipped, right?
Equipped is a strong word for it.
He has nothing in his
hand. He's wearing them. Oh yeah, he has no weapons equipped. Yeah.
And Inara would be like, put his head in the hole.
Francis would kind of look around the bugbear and be like, I appreciate your confidence that I can do that. However, he still is about 3 feet taller than me. And with that, Francis is going to, again, take his mace and do another non-lethal hit at his kneecap.
Sounds good. Roll me to hit. This will be with advantage as Inara is flanking.
21.
21 definitely hits.
A whopping 4.
That's respectable, as he bends over on the right knee here, taking the blow and impact. You too? Just looking at you, unsure of what you think, what he's seeing.
Francis kind of just looks up at this massive bugbear and being like, yes, we're kind of not to die here, so if you would please just not attack us anymore, that would be great.
Oh, interesting. Francis, anything else in your go?
No, that'll be it.
All right, Plato, that is your go.
The pain. It would be easier to push him down the stairs. All right. I'm gonna lean back in the door. He's still looking rough in there, right?
He actually is just starting to look bloody.
Pain in the ass. I'll I'll use my bonus action to double down on my gambit. Why not? Using my telepathic connection to Batty No Shoes. I will speak to his mind and say, the demons that surround you are but a nightmare. You can only free yourself by leaving this place.
All right, so unfortunately, that does take us to the range of a persuasion check. Very unfortunately, I will need a persuasion check. I will say he starts screaming because everything else has been out loud. The mind sliver was in his head, but everything else has been out loud so far. So this is insane. Like he's on a drug trip, and very suddenly, a voice inside of his head that is in a Perian accent starts yelling at him.
Yeah, Plato leans into the room, and Sherrilyn notes his sudden reappearance, and she says, "Plenty of room for your contributions, Mr. R. Davy." And as she's about to finish that, she hears this bugbear start screaming and just stops abruptly.
You see he does, as you begin to say that, his head goes down and you can't see his eyes anymore as the light sort of branches off his glasses. And then, yeah, the bugbear just starts screaming. And I will try and roll a persuasion check. I am still charismatic. An unnatural 20. That's an 18 plus 2.
Sounds good.
I don't know if you would like that to require my action.
I think, yeah, given how much you're going to receive for it, I think that's going to require your action.
All right. So if I look at him and he is focused on me and he is screaming, then I will withdraw back into the hallway, right about here, and I will say, "Get ready, Rock."
All right, sounds good.
Down the stairs. So I would like to see if I can get Rourke to hold his action to try and push the guy down the stairs.
Yeah, he's going to kind of like, that brings us to Rourke's turn. He's going to kind of like hover in the air here, right next to the barrister, and hold his action to try and shove down the stairs. All right, that's going to be Rourke's turn, which brings us to the start of initiative with Sherrilyn Isolde.
Yes. So is he still facing the wall then?
No, he has his arm is still stuck in there, but he is now looking direct towards the door, intent on escaping from these imaginary demons that surround him.
All right, well, never waste an opportunity where your opponent's back is turned upon you. She will go for a stab directly into the back of his shoulder. She could aim for the spine, but as Mr. Ardavian has said many times, we should try not to kill him. So she will stab in a place where he will not immediately perish. That is to say, this is a non-lethal hit.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to use inspiration to try and hit this thing because I'm rolling single-digit numbers all day today. Still single digit, but slightly higher. A 13 to hit.
Unfortunately, a 13 will not hit. Oh, you're rolling with advantage because you're flanking too, right?
I wasn't. I think this dice will go into dice jail now. You shall choose a separate d20 now. Okay. All right. That is a 16 plus 4 for a dirty 20.
That definitely is going to hit.
So 8 plus 2 for 10 slashing damage.
Hell yeah. He's not looking great as you find purchase. What does that look like non-lethally?
With her sight clearer now, his back turned towards her, she places the stab well behind his shoulder blade, far enough away from an organ or his spine that nothing important will sever, but enough for it to hurt.
Hell yeah. As you cut in, his fresh bugbear blood hot begins to run out of his wound, which brings us to the start of Badinoshu's turn. At the start of his turn, he will take 2d4 acid damage. It's going to be 2 points of acid damage. With that brings us to Badinoshu's action here, which he's going to start with his movement, as he's going to try and squeeze into this space and push past Francis here, granting an attack of opportunity to all three of you, if you would like to take it.
I absolutely would like to take that.
Of course.
Yes, please.
I wish there was a way for us to combine our attacks like Power Rangers.
Plato's standing outside in the hallway, like jumping up and down on the heels of his shoes, like, oh fuck.
This is actually going to happen.
If he comes out here and kills me, they better heal me.
Lucky for you, he has been partially disarmed.
That's an 11 from Francis.
Yes, that's a 17 to hit for Sherrilyn.
Hell yeah, that does hit.
Okay.
Uh, 19 plus 5, so 24 to hit for Inara.
Both those are definitely going to hit.
Nice.
That is a 7 plus 2. Slashing, non-lethal. She will draw the sword across his calf as he attempts to depart.
2 plus 3, so 5 points of damage for Inara's attack. Trying to reach the area where she assumes or knows in general that like his spleen is there. Tries to sink her dagger into his side, hoping to cause as much damage as she can from her stature.
Might I call out to Plato, who I know has re-entered the hallway? We have softened him up for you, Mr. Ardavian.
He's full of holes now.
Ridiculous. I look at Rourke. I nod.
All right, it's still his turn. That brings us to the rest of his movement, which brings him just to the door here. With that, I think he's going to use his action to dash. Actually, I don't know. Give me a second. Let me roll something for Rourke to see how well hidden he is. Okay, Rourke rolled a nat 1 as he just sees Rourke on the banister.
Wait. I have a point of inspiration. Can I give it to Rourke?
Yeah, absolutely.
As I look and nod at him to get ready, I pass this inspiration over to him.
No joke, that is a natural 20. I just went from a 1 to a 20. As he is like perfectly hidden behind this banister, as he readjusts very quickly, as you kind of give him a look like, yo, what are you doing? With your inspiration, as he hides himself. Batty No Shoes is going to use his action to dash, finding the movement here. And he is going to run past Rourke, activating Rourke's held action, as Rourke is going to try and push him down the staircase. It's going to be competing strength checks. Rourke isn't particularly strong, but that's not bad. That's going to be 16 total. And now Batty No Shoes is going to be rolling at disadvantage because he still has the poison condition. All right, that's a 2 on the first roll. So he's going down that staircase for sure.
He makes up for his lack of strength with his long legs.
He's got big Roadrunner kicking legs, and he drop kicks. He drop kicks the man.
Drop kicks the bear.
Yeah, he does have. He is very big. The bugbear gets drop kicked right down the staircase. That is going to be 2d6 bludgeoning damage. If you'd like to roll that, Plato.
Yes, I will roll that.
And he's going to fall prone.
6 and a 1, so 7.
He looks incredibly hurt. Near death. All right, that's the end of his turn. Not a great turn for him. Inara, that's your go. Francis on deck.
Okay, 65 feet to get to him?
Yeah, then it'd be 65.
Yeah, okay. So she's going to use her feline agility, which says that when I move on my turn in combat, I can double my speed until the end of the turn.
Hell yeah.
So she's going to run to the doorway, and then seeing the bugbear lying prone on the bottom of the stairs, she's going to almost like smirk, like she's enjoying this more than she expected to, and run down the stairs and jump on top of him, landing like with her legs on either side of his torso, and will take out her dagger and just go for it, like stab him in the chest.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead and roll me to hit with advantage.
Okay, that was a 17 on the die for the first roll. 8 on the second. So 17 plus 5 is 22 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Nice. Come on. Yes! Max damage. So 4 plus 3, 7 points of damage with her dagger.
Inara, what does this look like as you kill?
Son of a bitch!
As you kill Fatty No Shoes, the bug historian and muscle of the turkey.
So as the combat has gone on, she seems to have just not made peace, but accepted the fact that she took a life and it's okay because she took it in defense of someone she cares about. And then seeing that huge bear lying prone almost gave her this like overinflated sense of confidence, wanting to take down something that much bigger than her. She runs down, lets all of her animalistic traits, I guess, take over, and she stabs down in his neck, wanting to feel all that blood gushing out over her paws as she takes yet another life this night.
Plato is furious.
I think Rourke just says, damn. Like kind of breathlessly watching Inara stand over this huge 8'6" bugbear.
Hey, this is Mickey, or Plato in the podcast you just listened to. I wanted to thank you for listening, and if you liked the episode, please share us with your D&D party or throw us on during your next board game night. We'd really appreciate it. And thank you to Dustin Goddard for our theme music and Julia Folkart for our cover art. To find more of Julia's art, check out the link in our show notes.